Welcome back for another episode of I Tamed the Duke, and without further ado, let's continue the story. Viola remembers that Duke de Faloa has a shy personality and wasn't comfortable around women. Due to that, people started calling him impotent behind his back. Moreover, some rumors even said that de Faloa is gay, which she understands is why Rabina is acting that way. But our girl knows that the Duke has a secret that no one else knows about, since she read the book already. Viola tries to comfort Rabina, telling her that she's sure she'll change her mind once they become closer. However, Rabina disagrees and says she can't get engaged to someone she doesn't even love. Rabina begins to hesitate as she looks at our girl with puppy dog eyes, asking her if she is her friend. Our girl feels a little uncomfortable about it and tells her that she's supposed to be, but in her mind, she knows she's not the real Viola, though she understands that she's her friend since she is Viola now. With teary eyes, Rabina states that if she were her real friend, she'd ask for a favor. Knowing that our girl has no choice after seeing her teary eyes, she can't say no and just nods unwillingly. Rabina leans forward, as if begging, and asks Viola to seduce the Duke for her. Of course, this leaves our girl dumbfounded, as she definitely wasn't expecting that. She sighs and says no. Rabina feels sad about this and asks why, wondering if the Duke is just impotent, and tells her that she doesn't have to worry about falling in love with him, as she just wants to help her break off the engagement. But to our girl, it isn't that easy. More importantly, she would be following the plot of the novel if she did that. She knows that she will die in that story. Feeling afraid, she doesn't want to die after stealing her man. However, if she dislikes the Duke because he's impotent, that'll be solved soon. Rabina still doesn't accept it as she believes that Viola is the only one who can help her, making Viola feel bad. Because she knows that she won't be stealing him because Rabina's asking her to take the guy, then it might be okay. The male lead won't actually fall in love with her anyways. She remembers his perfect physique that she could use him as a nude model, where she always wanted to try drawing nude models. In addition, it won't be hard for her to help call off the engagement since she knows Ivan's secret after reading the novel. With that, Viola accepted her favor, making Rabina happy. She repeated her favor, she just needs to help her break off the engagement, which she confirms. Now our girl feels happy to think about that, where the two of them have entirely different goals in mind. And so, Viola proceeds to collect information about the Duke, as she knows that he didn't come to social events that often, nor did he speak to or touch women. She remembers his features as a tall man with a cold gaze, along with silver hair and eyes. She wonders how good-looking he is in real life. As she thinks about it, she wonders if he literally sparkles because he's the male protagonist. Nevertheless, if things go to plan, she knows that she'll be the perfect partner for her, but as a model, of course. Also, she's not entirely certain yet, but after seeing people's reactions to her painting today, a rather hopeful and optimistic thought came to her mind. What if she can continue doing art in that world? A few days later, her opportunity to seduce the male lead came faster than she expected. It was the day they put up their paintings from the meeting on display. In other words, today is the day that she'll die of embarrassment. Our girl enters the exhibition, and all the men gaze upon her, admiring how beautiful her crimson dress and crimson hair are. She looks like a very cool, elegant villainess. She notices this and stares at them with a cold look, wondering why they are so surprised. She wonders if they think she is a bad person. Suddenly, Rabina appears, delighted that she came. Here, we can see the opposite of what our girl looks like, as Rabina looks cute with her beautiful silver hair matched with her blue dress, her eyes gleaming like the beautiful goddess Aphrodite. Rabina informs our girl that the Duke has just arrived at the exhibition as well. This surprises our girl along with Rabina. She asks about her dress, making our girl confused. She wonders if it's because the dress isn't as revealing as the ones Viola usually wears. Usually, the real Viola wears sexy and skimpy clothes, like one of those Instagram models we see on the internet. She just smirked at Rabina, and in her mind, she has much to learn. In her world, simply showing skin was a method used by novices. Anyhow, she guesses that she should have expected that she can't see Ivan at all. As she comes to think of it, it is only natural. In the novel, he always sought out quiet places, so she knows, or probably knows, where he was. And there he was, as our girl expected, the Duke alone and enjoying the silent moment like an introvert. Our group approaches him and asks if he looked at the paintings. This surprises the Duke as he turns around, seeing Viola, but looks away and remains silent as always. Viola tries to converse with him, but it doesn't work. She expresses her thoughts that the Duke is quiet and wonders if he does not like talking to women, as she expected. Even though she knows his secret, our girl thinks about Rabina, as she was sure that he won't love her. However, it is not the case. She knows that in the novel, it didn't really say whether he was really impotent or not, so she's not really 100% sure about that. So our girl just glanced at him and she doubts that the author would have given the male lead such a tragic trait. Although, if it's true, she really wants him as a model so badly as she stared at his pants. "Girl, you are one thirsty girl." The Duke noticed her gaze and turned around, making Viola startled. He looked at her and asked where she thinks she is looking, speaking coldly to her. As the Duke glared at Viola, she felt nervous and intimidated by his presence. She played dumb and muttered, trying to come up with excuses. In her mind, she's thinking that the Duke is considering her crazy, and she notices that Rabina is watching as well. With no other choice, she musters up the courage to address the Duke by calling out his name. The Duke flinches, and with a sweet smile, she asks if she can make an offer. However, the Duke remains cold towards her but asks what it was. In response, our girl offers to help him and smiles brightly. However, that doesn't affect the Duke as he doesn't change his demeanor towards her and is surprised by her question about the offer she was talking about. He then stated that he knows about her, and now our girl knows why he is reacting like that. In response, she tells him that he doesn't need to be worried about her. However, the Duke still didn't care and responded back, telling her that it's hard to be worried about someone who doesn't care about themselves. Surprised by his response, our girl asked if he isn't curious about the help that she said she is offering him. He then tells her that there is nothing she can help him with, and she never asked for any assistance. Viola then says that it is unfortunate. However, she whispers in his ear and asks him a very surprising question about what if she knows his secret. Of course, this surprises the Duke, mixed with annoyance and confusion, and he asks what it is. Viola notices his reaction, thinking that it was quite the response as he looks quite shaken by that. For some reason, he reminds her of a super grouchy cat, something like a cat who bites, thinking of how adorable that could be. Moreover, the Duke asks why Viola is coming closer, even though he tells her that it is enough and she should stop right there. But our girl is being assertive as she caresses his face seductively, saying that if she takes one more step, she will be right in front of him and that she can touch him if she extends her hand, making the Duke flustered. Suddenly, the Duke, who looked like a cute, stingy cat, expresses his discomfort as he asks her to stop. Viola giggles, knowing how to make him blush. Finally, the grumpy cat has reacted. She grins, knowing that if she proceeds to touch him like that, he will be in trouble because his body will become hot. This surprises the Duke, and he questions how she knows about that. She smiles and tells him that she knows his naughty secret. What a horny boy he is indeed. Viola recalls what she read about a certain illness that's been passed down for generations in the DeFelua family. This disease causes their body to heat up with a woman's touch. The illness has no cure, but it disappears if they get into a relationship with someone they truly love. The cause and origin are still unknown. Some people think it's a curse. Strangely enough, it seems a little romantic to her as she reads it. Our girl was thinking about that, how an illness can be cured by the one they love, like a princess waking up with a prince's kiss. Now, our girl is wondering if that makes Rabina the prince, like a reverse sleeping beauty. Viola smiles and tells him that she can help with his illness, asking if he's still going to refuse that. The Duke remains silent while Viola smirks. The Duke gazes at her with distrust, which our girl notices. She tells him not to look at her with those eyes, as she is not doing it for free. She informs him that she wants him to be an art model for her, winking as she thinks about his sexy body. In her mind, she was just half joking. She's not ready to do a nude drawing yet. However, it's clear she seems quite serious about it. The Duke asks with a serious tone what she's really up to. In response, she claims she's just trying to be faithful to her role. The Duke looks at her with icy eyes, questioning the nonsense she's talking about. But in our girl's mind, she was just trying to get him to say yes and realizes that it isn't as easy as she thought. Now, she is thinking if the Duke believes she's saying she'll cure his illness. Viola then acted as if she were hard to get, stating that she just wanted to be clear that she isn't his type. She told him that she hopes he doesn't get the wrong idea, as she likes powerful and tough men. Hearing that makes the Duke astounded, which surprises our girl. She wonders why he was making that face when she hadn't said anything shocking. Nevertheless, the Duke then asked her a question. Why is she offering to help a man that's not even her type? She replied that it's where she can just live a peaceful life. She reminded him that she had copied everything Rabina did until now, leaving the Duke speechless. However, our girl told him that she's not like that anymore. She decided not to waste her life chasing after things that belong to someone else. She realized that she is special and worthy just as she is. She just really hopes that the Duke and Rabina end up together through true love instead of an arranged formality. Viola thinks that the Duke still isn't buying it, so she pointed out the painting. It is a symbol that marks the beginning of her new life. She questioned him if it looks like Rubina's artwork to him, feeling sure that it is not. She told him that it is not a battle. After all, he got engaged because he thought he'd fall in love with Rubina. She asked if she was right. The Duke was about to say something, but our girl just shushed him. She already knows that he doesn't have to say anything. She knows that Rubina is clearly lovely and makes everyone smile, and maybe that's why she got jealous. Rubina emits light, and she knows that in the end, will the Duke fall in love with her. With that, our girl is impressed by her own speech, feeling proud of it. The Duke sighs and reluctantly agrees to her offer. Viola gladly takes his acceptance as a sign of her proposal being accepted. However, the princess still doubts, wondering what if things don't work out. She considers taking responsibility for him, but then blurts out that she wasn't planning on him being unable to do the nude drawing. This surprises the Duke, who suddenly looks like a femboy from TikToks. He realizes what she was talking about regarding modeling stuff, covering his own man boobs in response. Viola nervously responds that she thought he would make the perfect model because everyone said he was impotent. Realizing what she just said, she frets and sweats, feeling she may have said too much about his limp condition. This makes the Duke dumbfounded on what he heard and can't believe what she said. His eyes grow colder as he hears that she mentioned his limpy dick. Our girl tries to apologize and tells him that it's not true, as she knows about his condition. However, we can see the Duke trembling with anger. Surprisingly, he starts to look flustered and tells her that there has been a misunderstanding. He then vehemently denies being impotent at all. Now our girl saw his reaction and stared at him with disbelief. She tells him that she believes what he said. However, she still confirms to him that she has no romantic feelings for him. She emphasizes that this proves she doesn't have any ulterior motives and questions him if he thinks she would call a man she wants to impress impotent. With that, the Duke finally understands what she was saying, and she made her point very clear. Our girl is now looking forward to working with the Duke, a sense of peace settling around them as if they're now friends. In her mind, since she can't actually touch him, this is how they'll shake on it to finish the contract. Afterwards, our girl goes inside and hears murmurs in the crowded room. She wonders why it's so noisy and if all the people are here because of the painting. She was right, as everyone was looking at her painting. However, that doesn't make her feel happy. Instead, she finds it cringe-worthy and feels embarrassed about her work to the point that she feels like she's going to die from embarrassment. However, the guests compliment how beautiful the painting is, saying they've never seen anything like it. They appreciate the simplicity and freedom of the artwork. Some also admire how the artist used the direction of light, even though the brush strokes are all different. Our girl hears this and feels nervous, wondering if it was a compliment. Other artists can't deny how beautiful Viola's work is. Each stroke seems calculated, with any unnecessary strokes eliminated. Viola hears that and knows she just did it based on what she saw. Now, she's thinking that all the people are really weird. Back in her world, everyone called her a horrible artist. She remembers her classmates making fun of her, saying they could draw better with their feet, which angers her. Lastly, one of the people notices that it was Viola's work. Our girl has had enough and can't listen any longer, so she sneaks out of the crowd. However, Rubina calls out to her, asking where she's going. In her current state, our girl can't handle being around a lot of people, hoping Rubina can read the room. Viola's self-esteem is so low that she thinks all the people are uncomfortable knowing that the piece they praised was drawn by her. She's no longer copying Rubina's work. The third painting says it all. However, some of the guests praised her work, expressing surprise at her latest piece. They noted that the colors were softer and brighter than before, yet they didn't realize she had painted it. Hearing that puts Viola at ease, realizing that the atmosphere isn't as bad as she thought. Gratefully, our girl thanks them for their compliments, planning to use that particular style in all of her drawings from now on. She then approaches Rubina, intending to apologize and express that she won't imitate her style anymore. Hearing this leaves Rubina dumbfounded. Viola continues to apologize, expressing regret if she hurt Rubina's feelings up until now. She compliments her, acknowledging that her art is amazing and that she wanted to copy her because she shines. But now she's decided to love herself from now on and be true to herself. She grasps Rubina's hand and asks for forgiveness for what she has done up until now, realizing that this is the perfect moment for her to retire as a villain. And with that, I conclude part 2 of this series. Now, what will happen next? What will our girl Viola plan to do with the Duke? Does Rubina really not like the Duke? Lastly, what's Viola's next masterpiece? Is she the next Van Gogh? Tune in next time for the continuation of this wonderful series. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for updates.